week ahead of you. Everyone's excited. The season is starting, what it appears to be. I hope there's no hiccups or
Yeah,
speed
right.
bumps, no pandemic.
Right.
But I guess I'll just start there. Have you ever seen anything so kind of as crazy as the past year in your life? I know obviously no one's been through a pandemic. Last time it's happened was 100 years ago, but what was so crazy and different about last season? And where were you when everything kind of just stopped?
Yeah, like you're planning like your future and everything, and it's just like that never crosses your mind that there wouldn't be a
Right,
baseball season. Like there might be a whole bunch of different things that happen, but not like baseball is like a given. Like sports are a given.
right.
That's gonna happen. I think Tori Lavello, during his first speech in spring training, was like, "We're
Mm,
gonna play 162 games. That's a
right.
given. We don't know where we're gonna end up." So it's kind of funny like that. But no, I was in spring training and it was like our off day. So
Hmm.
like it was our one off day. So we've been going for a while. So we were kind of enjoying the off day.
Right.
And all of a sudden we get like email start going around, like
Hmm.
might not have practice tomorrow, like could be like an optional workout. So they ended
Wow.
up switching it to like an optional workout. And everyone's like, okay, I'll go in. But everybody was like hoping that it would get canceled. So like, okay, this is gonna be like one day and then we'll
Right.
have like a little extra off day, which would be sick, and then
Hmm.
we'll be back like next weekend.
Right.
But then it was like every hour was changing. It was like, okay, no more optional, no more optional. Workout can't come in. Facilities locked down. We're like, what? And all
Right.
of a sudden, like we had our farm director like at the team hotel like called us in the parking lot. It's all happened within like an hour of just like boom, 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 boom. Just like
Yeah.
keep refreshing your email, and he kind of got everyone in. He's like, I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. He goes, he's just like, I think you guys are gonna have to go home. We're like, what?
Yeah.
And originally I was like, all right, I think I might just stay in Arizona for like a month and just like
Hmm.
find like a cage here because it's not gonna last very long.
Right.
And
That's what we all thought.
uh, yeah, so like I'll just probably just hang around here. I don't want to go all the way back home to Florida
Right.
and ship my car all the way home to Florida
Uh-huh.
and then have to do it all over again on the way back.
Mm.
So uh, I ended up after a couple of days of just thinking about it, and it was just like you turn on the news and like, okay, this thing is a lot bigger
Right.
than I thought it was. So I ended up going back to Florida. But I left my car here still, thinking, all right, I won't need a
You're
car that long.
hopeful.
Like, yeah, so I left my car in Arizona, and it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm not gonna need it that much in Florida. Like, I'm only gonna
Right.
be there for a few weeks,
Right.
and so I was carless for like 4 months.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Absolutely
Yeah.
crazy. You know, the funny thing is though about there, the crazy thing is then is there was the whole idea of leaving the cardier just motivation too, that when the season does come back, that in order for me to get that car, I'm gonna have to get called up. So was that part of the goal too, to be like, hey, if I want that car, I gotta grind and I gotta get to Chase Field.
Well, not exactly because I figured that everyone was coming back. Like there was
Right.
not going to be a minor league season still
Hmm.
because it's like okay, well if the big league starts, they're not going to not have a minor league season.
Right.
So it was like all right, I'm still good. Like
Right.
when they call everyone to come back, like well we would come to Arizona first anyways for
Hmm.
probably a little mini spring
Sure.
training. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just assuming it was going to be we just restart spring training and it's going to go as normal, but
Right.
obviously
That
I
didn't go as
was
planned.
completely wrong. Yeah.
Right. You know, the thing that kind of was strange too was obviously that with an absent minor league year last season. I've talked to a few people like Duplantier and then prospect for the Reds, Newtoff, and they said that I mean the whole alternative training site thing was strange. I mean, you're doing workouts via Zoom. You're not getting much out of that. I mean, I don't think you can. You have to make the best of that situation. But what was so hard about adapting to that style? I mean, because you're dormant. You're not getting full action games. You're not going through those motions that you would regularly. How did you adjust your workout and routine to conform to the new guidelines?
Right. So we were still playing games every day, and it was like only 5 inning games. I actually liked it because I was getting
Oh wow.
the same amount of at bats as I would in a real game, but we were
Hmm.
only playing 5 innings, so they were going like quick,
Hmm.
and I was getting the same amount of at bats in. And I took it as an opportunity because it was like, all right, no one is seeing like the outside world is going to see these
Right.
stats. I have a chance to like kind of try some things out and see if
Hmm.
they work. And if they don't work, it's like no one's really obviously you want to do as well as you can because the
Right.
only people that really matter how you do is are there. But
Right.
it gave me a chance not to have like the outside world always like looking at that, and so I got to like change some things.
Right. Now, just to go back to the draft and everything like that, when you drafted seventh overall, 2017 out of Virginia, and then that you were followed up in that draft, eighth overall, by former teammate Adam Hesley. What was that like to kind of have, and how special was that to go back to back with a teammate of yours at Virginia?
Yeah, it was super cool. The whole year was like uh, we were talking because we were like in the same boat about going in the draft, and it was funny when I got drafted. Like, we had a little party at my house, and like
Mm.
everyone was going crazy, and I was like, wait, you have to see where Adam goes,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
it was like
That's it
right the
right
next
away.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you're all celebrating, going crazy for that, I mean, there's a good chance. Did you miss his actual name being called because you didn't expect it
Well,
going one and
yeah,
two?
yeah, right. We were all going crazy, but right when the commissioner came up to the stands, like we have to see, we have to see,
Right.
and then
Right.
it was. Then we went crazy again because it was Adam going, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And that wasn't the first time he got drafted. And this is something that I kind of found interesting too. So when you were drafted in 2014 by the Rockies, you deferred, went back to school. What was so important about that decision and why did you make that decision? Did you feel obviously there's always room for growth? I mean, you
Mhm.
see athletes like if, in football, for example, Mark Sanchez or Matt Barkley, they jump the gun, they come out early, career doesn't go fully as planned. If they stayed a little bit longer, maybe they mature, get better. What was so important about going back to school? And did you feel that you just weren't ready for it yet?
Yeah, so I mean, I was 18 years old, so I was really young, and it was just like I didn't know what was best for my life, and I
Right.
had guidance with my parents, and we kind of put out a certain number where if they paid me that, I would go, but if
Hmm.
not, like it had to be like life changing money, and
Sure.
it was like if not, then we're gonna go to school, and you're gonna learn how to like live on your own, become a
Hmm.
man. And I was able to before I couldn't even do like these interviews. I wouldn't be able to
Right.
talk to you at 18
Right.
years old, and that I wasn't ready for like living on my own without like a little bit of structure. Like I think college gives a good leeway,
Sure.
to good stepping stone to like
Hmm.
okay, you're like on your own, but you still have structure. You have coaches that are on you. Whereas in your pro ball, it's like you're on your own. Like you gotta know what you want to do. Like the coach is gonna ask you what you want to do.
Right.
Whereas in college, they kind of give you a plan. So I think it helped me become a man, helped me learn how to email teachers, how to communicate with people. So I think more than just the baseball side, it helped me just become more of a better person.
Right. And Virginia has a really great baseball pedigree over the year. Coach O'Connor's
Mm-hmm.
done an incredible job. I mean, from Matt Thies, you even have Connor Jones over there too. I mean, they've had, and it's not even the names, it's just the success that he's been able to do. I think he's been almost 20 years he's been there. I think he's 18, 19 years. Over the years, at Virginia when he went there, how instrumental was he to your growth, not only as a player, but as a person?
Yeah, I think if when you really learn how to win there
Hmm.
and learn how to have that competitive atmosphere, and
Hmm.
nothing's given to you. So whereas in pro ball, like if you're a prospect, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're kind of stinking it up. They're going to want you to get the at bats.
Right.
Whereas, like the coach's job's on the line if he doesn't do well. So it's like he's
Sure.
playing the best players. So it gives you a competitive aspect. Like I got to do well. Uh, but he did a great job. It was a fun time. I think winning that College World Series in
Yeah.
2015 really, you know, was still one of the best moments of my life. And
Sure. You had a big
you
part
take
of
you take
that.
yeah, you take that with you, and it kind of teaches you, how to win, which is
Right.
very important at the highest level. Whereas in the minor leagues, they do care about winning. Like it's fun
Right.
to win. Like we won our Double A championship last year, and it was really fun.
Hmm.
But I don't think it's the highest of priority for the for the D-backs. They want
Sure.
their players to progress, which is
Right.
good too. Like it's a developmental league. So
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, because you touched on the World Series there too, obviously winning that in 2015, you had a really big part of that series itself, game tying two-run home run off of Walker Bueller, and then the game-winning single in the clincher. Um, what was that like? I mean, you're on national stage and just to have that. I mean, it's almost like a little kid winning a Little League World Series. You run through scenarios like that, whether it be,
Mhm.
bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count, World Series in your backyard or stuff like that. But what was that moment like for you? I mean, because it happens all so fast. I mean, it's not like a little, dragged out process. It happens so fast, and it doesn't take sometimes, it could take a week or two to finally have it set in and go like, holy crap, like that happened. What was
Yeah.
that experience like?
Yeah, and it's funny because the whole World Series, I had a great freshman year, and in the World Series, I just wasn't doing my best,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the coaches really helped me. Encouraged me. My teammates were encouraging me. I finally broke out in that last game, but
Yeah.
it's really cool to see. Like even now, it's just like Walker Bueller is like a name now.
Right.
Like Dansby Swanson, like that's who we were playing. Like all these
Right.
guys have taken off, and to say I hit a homer off one of the best pitchers in baseball in the College World Series is pretty cool.
Yeah. Because you mentioned him and, where he is now, he's an incredible pitcher. If you look at the history at 7, I was looking at that the other day in the draft. Obviously, the draft, I mean, there's people who get drafted super high and then you never hear them again. But I mean, you're doing some incredible stuff right now, and that's nothing you're going to have to worry about. But if you look at the history at 7, I was looking Andrew Benintendi, 2015, Archie Bradley.
We played him,
Yeah.
Andrew Benintendi in that College World Series.
Yep.
Pretty sure. Was Kershaw 7 too?
Kershaw, that's 2006. Yeah, he was 7, and Fielder was 7 in 02. Tulowitzki in 05. Obviously, that stuff, that doesn't affect your growth or where
Right.
you go. But it is interesting to look at, especially Kershaw, like at 7. The history of 7, where that is. Is that something that, I mean, a lot of people just don't say, "Oh, I don't pay attention to that." But I mean, it's kind of hard when you play baseball your whole life to not look at that and go, "Holy cow!" Like, is that something that when that happened, you're like, "Oh my gosh, look at the history at 7," or is that something that just went in one year, not the other?
I think it gives you a little bit of confidence. It's like this is how
Sure.
high that they think of you to where they draft you this high,
Mm-hmm.
where these guys have gone, and
Yeah.
I think it gives you some confidence going in that like you're that guy. There's also pressure that comes with it.
Sure.
Trying to live up to those expectations.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, September 12th, 2020, I think you know what happened that day. You get I think that was the debut, MLB debut, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
get that call that week. I mean, because that's a full week of events, kind of. You don't know when it's going to come, but it comes. Take us through that week and that call, the emotions that came with all that. Because one, I mean, you're living a dream of mine. I think every I had no athletic ability. I mean, I played Little League. I thought it was great, but I fucking sucked. But so you're living, I think, a lot of people's dreams. When that day comes, that call comes, run us through the emotions and the process that comes after that, because obviously there's so many people you want to reach out to and thank, because it's not,
Right.
a singular effort. It wasn't like I did this, I earned all. I mean, there's so many other people that played a huge role in getting you to that moment. What was that like?
Yeah. I was actually on PlayStation with my college roommate. So we were like in a party talking. We were playing we were playing PGA Tour 2K21.
Yeah,
So we were
awesome.
just like chilling, and it's a good game to do it with.
It is. I was just playing that before this interview.
Yeah, you can just like go on mute for a second and go on a phone call. It's like
Right.
you don't really lose anything. But I was like, hold on, I'm getting the call real quick, and I get the call. Like I'm talking. I talked to him for like 2 minutes. So it's probably like, where'd he go? And I
Yeah.
come back and I'm like, bro. And he goes, no way. He like knew right away for some
Yeah.
reason. He's
That's
no
crazy.
way. And I was like, oh yeah, way. And then we were actually playing against two other random people, and
That's
like they were
funny.
on the mic too. So they were.
Oh, so they were a part of it. That's great.
Yeah. So they heard it before, like my mom and my dad and my. So it's so funny. But yeah,
That's great.
after that, I FaceTime my who then my wife now, but my fiance then, and then my mom and my best friend and some of my coaches. But it's funny because we were 3 hours behind, so it was like 2 a.m. on the East Coast where all my friends were. So it took a couple tries sometimes for them to answer. But I think I called my mom, like she picked up on like the third ring, the third one. Yeah, so I think Nick, who is my best friend, who's my best man at my wedding, he was like, he answered like right away. I was like, "Are you awake?" And he goes, "No, I just heard it." And I was like, "Dang, I don't think I'd be able to hear it if I was asleep." But he answered it like right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. He probably thought something was wrong. I mean, you're calling him at that time. I mean, I would
Yeah.
think something's wrong.
Well, it's funny. He I think at that time he was working at UPS, so his wake up calls were at like maybe like 4 a.m. So he was like getting ready
Ah,
by to get up
right.
soon. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So
You
yeah.
mentioned then fiance, now wife. Over the past year, I mean, those last year sucked from top to
Mhm.
bottom. I mean, it was just
Right.
a horrible year. I mean, that's a pretty big moment for you. You get the MLB debut, you get married. How has that been going for you? And has that did that obviously make 2020? It made up for how shitty
Yeah,
of
I
a year
made
it
the
really
best of it,
was.
but it's funny because we got engaged and it was the beginning of January, and
Oh,
if you
Jesus.
yeah, so it was like nothing was going on yet,
Right.
and
Oh,
she
man.
was like, "This is gonna be the best year ever," and then little did she know she was gonna have to try to plan a wedding during this, which
Right.
is impossible. Where it's
Hmm.
like they're trying to limit how many people you can have, and it was like 2 weeks
Absolutely.
before the wedding, and they were telling us we had to cut numbers of people that have already
But
said
that's so
yes.
hard. Like, how do you
I
cut
know
people
it
who've
was,
loved you, have been there for you since day one? Like, it's horrible.
and they said yes already, so they already RSVP'd. So we had to find a loop. We had to
Oh,
find a loophole,
yeah.
and we were like, all right, let's just send out. We're not going to tell anybody they can't come right now, but let's
Hmm.
just send out like a waiver and make them sign it.
Yeah.
And like the amount of people, it was like we had to cut like 20 people, and like 20
Hmm.
people didn't sign the waiver. So it was like, all right, at least we didn't
Hey,
have
it
to say you
works. Hey,
couldn't
these
come.
are the 20. There you go.
Yeah. So at least they didn't sign the waiver, so it made it a little easier on us. And if they didn't feel
Absolutely.
comfortable coming, it was understandable. Like
Right, of
it's tough.
course. I mean, it's still a little
Yeah.
tough for some people, which is okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what made it more tough too, I mean, that's a big event, obviously, debut and stuff like that. It's a great day, big celebration. You know, you have family who go to in attendance. Did that happen with this debut, or was that not able to happen with all the stuff that's going on?
Yeah, no one was able to come, which kind of sucked. So my mom, they bought
Oh
the
man.
MLB package like right away, which you could watch like out of out of market games.
Right.
So they were watching on the Apple TV and staying up because all
Oh
our games
man.
started at like 10 Eastern time
Yeah.
because we're out in Arizona.
Hmm.
But no, they watched every game. They're looking forward to Holy coming this year, so we
Yeah.
can have that first time for that.
Right. And now, I mean, I when I talked to Duplantier about that too, at that when I talked to him, it was only like mid-January, I think. He said that there was no word about anything about the season at that time. Now, obviously, we're getting closer. Things have been finalized. Has there been word on if there is going to be, if fans are going to be allowed back in, or well, I mean, what's the message and word going around right now? I mean, we're less than, I think, first preseason game is or spring training game is what, March 1 or the
Yeah,
28th of February? I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
What's the
So
word right now?
yeah, I think there will be. I mean, you're just looking at other leagues and they're starting to let fans in. So
Hmm.
that's always a big tip if there's other leagues letting fans in. And I
Right.
think I just saw last night that they're selling spring training tickets. So if they're selling spring training tickets, I'm sure that they'll
Oh,
sell
that's good.
the regular season tickets. But obviously it'll probably be a less capacity, but anything is better than it was last year.
Right, absolutely. Now, in 12 games
Yeah.
last year, 37 at bats, 7 runs, 10 hits, one home run, four RBIs, finishing with an average of 270. What would you say, in your own words, how would you, you know, rank your season last year, and where do you feel there are areas to improve on? Obviously, there's areas to improve every year and everywhere, but where do you think you needed to or need to put a little bit more focus on for 2021?
Yeah, I feel like last year I kind of got my feet wet, and it
Sure.
was a good like break into the league, and
Hmm.
it honestly made it a little easier that there were no fans. I mean, obviously I wanted there to be
Pressure's
fans
down a
there,
little
but
bit.
it was a little bit. I mean, you're still playing with, you're trying to play for the guys around you, and you're trying to
Hmm.
prove yourself to the guys around you that probably have never even seen you play,
Right.
and that's probably the hardest part. But I'd say I did well. I think it was like the last two games where
Hmm.
I hit a couple line outs, and it was like that bro. And when there's that many at bats,
Hmm.
you get out 3 times in a row, and it drops like 50 points, and it's like,
Hmm.
all right. I mean, I only had like 38 at bats. It's fine, but
Right. So you're a numbers guy. You watch all that stuff.
I mean, it's like right in your face on the big screen, so it's like impossible not to see it.
Yeah, they got a big
Uh,
one at Chase.
yeah, so it's pretty impossible not to see. And obviously, it's like cool to see. Like, all right, I feel like 270 was pretty respectable for my first 12 games in the league. So I was like,
Right.
all right, and I got the homer out of the way. I was like, all right, at least I went into the offseason with the home run and a
Mm,
triple. So I thought it was a lot of fun with the guys. Just I feel like I got to know them a little bit. I feel like I know how to go about
right.
life in the clubhouse, because the first when I first got called up, it was like I couldn't sleep that night because I didn't know what to expect. So I think
Really, it
that's the
was
hardest
hard.
part, is not knowing what to expect and not knowing what to do. Like I'm just
Hmm.
sitting at my locker. I'm like, all right, am I allowed to go to the cage right now? Like I know there's a bunch of like unwritten rules about like letting the veterans go. Like I'm the rookie. Like I probably have no rights.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. So I feel like I got that out of the way. I feel like I got to know them. So like if I need to ask them something, like I feel comfortable doing that. I think that's a big part of it.
Sure, absolutely. Now, the media presence on that. I mean, was everything brighter, bigger, and just everything was just magnified on that day? I mean, what was that like? I mean, because everyone who makes their debut, there's generally a pretty nice sized media that huddles around that locker in a clubhouse. But
Hmm.
with the pandemic, obviously, it's a little bit different. What was the media attention like? And I mean, that had to be insane.
Yeah, I know everything just like means more, and I had like a few phone calls that I made with
Right.
guys to trying to interview, and then it was like in the press conference room. It's just like a big flat screen TV, and it's like a big like
Weird.
Zoom thing.
Yeah.
So like you see everybody on there, and you're supposed to like look into the camera, not look at them when you talk. So like it's kind of a weird
Yeah.
uh, situation like that, but
Hmm.
it was fun though. I mean,
Right.
everything was new for me anyways, so it's not like I've been there and
You
I've
didn't know
seen.
anything else.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. So it was kind of like, all right, well, this is how it is. And
Right.
whereas other people are like, this sucks, because like they know how the good stuff is. So
Right. Absolutely. Now the off season, obviously Jupiter, you go back home there. What was it? What was the off season like for you? How did you, manage your time? Did you do anything fun? How enjoyable was it? And, when did you start basically shutting down per se and getting ready and locked in for this season?
yeah, so I took like a couple of weeks off from doing anything. I took my
Hmm.
friends out, kind of like a celebratory fishing
Sure.
trip. We
Oh,
got
nice.
some mahi, ate some mahi, got caught a couple sailfish.
Cool.
Yeah, we only went out for a couple hours because a couple of guys got seasick,
Oh,
but
geez.
we already like raked in all we needed. So like, all right, we're fine. We can just go back in.
Right.
But yeah, play a little golf, kind of hang out. But after like a week or two, I was kind of bored. So I was like, I need to go to the gym. So I just started like doing that, get
Hmm.
my weightlifting program in, and not really touching a baseball or swinging at all. I mean, it was
Really?
no,
Wow.
not for a couple months. It was like I've been doing this like when the quarantine. I was like freaking going every day, like machine, like
Right.
lots of swings. So it's like any day they can call, any day they can call, any day they can call.
Hmm.
So it was like I've been taking swings for uh, a long time, and my theory is like, all right, I'm taking, if it's October, I just
Hmm.
finished in September.
Right.
I don't have a real game to play until at
Hmm.
least March. I don't need to like refine my swing right
Right.
now for a game
Hmm.
that's going to happen in March, right? Like I think that you can get overworked a little bit. I know
Sure.
there's certain guys that like to do it, and that's fine. But
Hmm.
I like to take a couple months off where I'm in the weight room, hanging out with friends. I'm getting away from the baseball side of things.
Right, absolutely. Now, I always like to do this stuff now is what is five things that people may not know about you?
May not know about me. Hmm. I think it's a lot. Well, okay. I once broke my pelvis, got stitches in my scrotum for
Oh my God,
rolling an
fuck that.
ATV when I was 13. So I was out in a mountain and I rolled an ATV, and I broke my pelvis, my wrist, and got stitches. I think
Holy
the
shit.
handlebar went like in my balls,
Oh my God, dude.
and
That's like some
I was like
jackass
sitting.
thing.
I know, I was sitting on top of the mountain. I was like 13 years old, and they had to come with a truck and come up and
Holy
get me and
shit.
take me to the hospital. And I was like, all right, I am never. I don't even think I've been on a freaking motorcycle since then. I was like, I am not doing that ever again. So that is one thing that most people probably don't know.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
but yeah, I was like, no, is not for me. Like I was having a lot of fun doing it,
Right.
and I think I got a little carried away and
Hmm.
started to go a little too fast, and I think I hit the front brakes, which makes you like just
Yeah.
go
It's yeah.
straight over. Yeah, and it was like, oh my gosh, yeah. I think baseball is more important than having fun on ATV.
Right.
But I was only 13 then, so baseball was a long way out, or
Right.
at this point at least.
Hmm.
Uh, the other thing, people. I mean, I told you earlier, but I just like playing video games.
Sure. Yeah.
Playing with my friends. Get
Hmm.
on. Right now, I'm on the. I was playing Call of Duty for a while, and
Oh, I can't
I
stand
think
that.
playing. I
I try. I get bored of it. I've been playing a
you
lot
don't
of
like Call of
PGA.
Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing PGA a little bit too, but I think it's hilarious playing the like the custom courses and like just the
Oh, yes.
absurd
These people
courses
have
where it's like
they have so
where
much
it's
time on their hands. Some of these are
I don't know
insane. Like,
how
how
do
do you
you
do
make
this? I
these?
can't even make
Yeah,
one hole without getting frustrated.
I know. I did one course and I basically I made like 4 holes and I was like, all right. And I put like the green where like the hole like you would if you miss past the hole it would go on the other side. And like
Yeah.
I made
I
some
don't
absurd
understand
stuff,
how
but I think
people
it's
do it.
hilarious. Like when it goes like people put like a boat in the middle of the
Oh,
fairway. I think
yeah.
it's
There's
just so
this is
funny. Like
crazy.
I'm shooting like 18 over on these courses, but
Oh,
I
I
think it's
still, yeah.
hilarious
I mean, I
because
golf.
it's
I'm
just
no
like
golfer, but
because it's
I mean, it's
impossible.
hard. It's impossible. So, like, I do a lot of the four-play society, the four-play pod societies, PGA Tour
Yeah.
society
Oh
for
yeah, yeah,
online
yeah.
stuff.
The
Great.
barstool stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah, that's fun. And I did that when it first came out,
Hmm.
and like I would go, and I'm like, dude, these guys gotta be cheating. Like, there's no
30
way they're
under.
shooting like
I'm on the
26
fifth
over.
hole. I'm
Yeah,
already 15 over.
I know. I'm like, there's no shot. There's
Yeah.
no way. I would like to see them doing this, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I like to do that. Man, I feel like I'm pretty out in the open. I don't know, like some. I'm a man of faith,
Oh,
so
there you go. That's important.
yeah. So I like to. This is actually a hat. It's got a little.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
a
I see that.
trademark hat. It's like
Nice.
kind of a
Cool.
cross. It's pretty cool. They just came out with it. It's like they're trying to make it like a Travis Matthew kind of brand,
Oh, cool.
but like it's supposed to be like low key on the faith. Like it's not like just a cross right out
Yeah.
at you. It's like an arrow,
Yeah.
and like they're giving like proceeds to like this month. It's like suicide prevention,
Oh,
so it's
that's
like all like
awesome.
not for profit. So it's pretty cool,
That's pretty
and
cool.
they're super comfortable. Trademark. So there's a plug.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I'm at 3.
You're at 3.
Oh, 2 more. Uh, Man, I've always been bad at these. Where
It's
it's
okay.
like
It's all good.
where they're like in college when they ask like what's one thing. I feel like I choke every time. It's like I have
Yeah.
no idea what people don't know about me.
You
Like
said you
I'm
like to
kind of a
golf.
yeah. I like to golf.
Are you good at it?
I'm not very good at it. I'm better
Me
at the
either.
PGA Tour, the video game
Yeah.
version. But you would think I got good hand-eye coordination. I could hit it, but it's
Yeah,
just
right.
so
Of
much
course.
different.
It's a little different. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's so much different. Top golf is fun though because I get nervous like because I do have like a bigger swing speed that the ball like when I hit it
Oh, the
good and it
club's gonna
goes to like
go.
way no not the club but like the ball's gonna go like into the road and hit a car and I get like
Ye- I've done
I'm
that
just like all
before in a
right I don't
course.
want yeah I'm like dude
Horrible.
oh like someone or hit it in someone's bet like in their pool and it's just
Yeah.
like oh because have you seen that video where I think it's on Instagram or TikTok or something where the guy he hits it in the backyard and
Uh-huh.
the guy acts like he's got hit by it. He's like sitting over
Yes,
there.
the
And
dude walks over. He almost walks away. He looked and then
yeah, that's like my worst nightmare. Like I can't. Like I think I get like it gets in my head and I'm just like, all right, don't hit it over there, and then like I hit it the complete opposite direction because I'm trying not to hit it over there,
right.
and it's just like it gets in my head. It's like that. If I had to walk up to some guy that I just hit, and I'd be like, oh, I'd probably run.
I'd probably leave.
But
The round would end there. I couldn't
yeah,
do that.
okay, yeah. I'm like I'm gonna go play the virtual version.
Right. Yeah, I'm a little bit better at that. But
Yeah, I think my another one. I think my favorite food is Thai food.
Thai food. Yeah, I never got into
Yes.
that. Never got into
Yeah,
that. I don't know what it
it's
is.
like a better, healthier version of like Chinese food. So
Yeah.
I know how to make it. So I make Thai food like all the time.
There you go.
It's pretty great. It's
Cool.
like this. It's called basil chicken. So you get a bunch of basil, some peppers, chicken, onion. You like make this sauce with this, just with some white rice.
There you go.
Yeah, I like some
That's it.
spicy food too, so I make it a little spicy.
Nice. Awesome. Now, where are you right now? You're getting ready. if you guys report this week, right? Tuesday?
Yeah, so I've been at the facility the last week, but doing
Mhm.
just like you're allowed to do like little small groups. So
Sure.
I was like with a group of 3, just like taking ground balls and hitting and
Hmm.
stuff.
Good.
But they just shut it down for they got to do like a full clean,
Right.
and so the next 3 days I'm not allowed to go in. But
Mhm.
I've already been tested twice. I gotta get tested again, but I've been negative every time. Still haven't gotten COVID. Have you gotten it?
No, I have not, but it is still a little, it is still a little kind of, still a little, you hear all these stories, it's still a little nerve wracking just because I don't want to get it. And it's not like because I'm younger.
Right,
It's the thing is, if I do get it, is I'm afraid of who am I giving it to that,
right,
it may, be the end of it for them. So
right.
that's,
Yeah,
that's the more thing that I'm
more
worried about
nervous
now.
for other
Yeah.
people.
I feel like it's selfish if it's like, yeah, I want to, yeah, you know what, have a nice break every now and then, but I feel selfish and guilty if something happens to someone else because
Right.
directly affected to me. So I have not gotten
Yeah.
it, thankfully, but I don't know if I had it and gave it to someone else either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Where do you live?
Chicago.
Oh, so it's pretty locked down city over there, huh?
Yeah, it's starting to open up again, but positivity rates are like 3.2%. Wisconsin's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
it was at 29 to 35% at one point in the summer. And
You
that's
Chicago
it's
style pizza all the way?
all the way. You know what? That's the only pizza I know.
Yeah.
So like when I go elsewhere, I always judge it and compare it to back home, and it's always Chicago. There's no,
Right.
I mean, I haven't been in
I
New
do
York
like
yet, so I don't
I
know
do
what
like
their
the
pizza's like.
yeah, I do like Chicago style, just like the deep it's like deep dish, right? Like the square,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
it's good stuff.
Yeah. Get it at I know this is probably like the worst place, but Chicago's like who knows? Have you ever been there? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
It's
I've
like a
been there a
friend.
couple times.
I know it can't like compare to like authentic, but
Gino's East and Giordano's is the go-to.
yeah, I've never been to Chicago though, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Well, see, the thing is I was hoping that when you were drafted, you would be put out to Kane County, but it was towards the end of the season. And that's, Kane County, the Dimebacks, they were there for like I think 3 or 4 years,
It's
and that's
officially
where.
not.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even affiliated with the actual MILB organization. They're
And they
independent.
get the most fans out of like anybody.
I do.
It's
I mean,
nice.
see all these bats back here, there, and there.
Yeah,
Those are all
yeah.
from Cougars. I mean, they're all friends of mine. I
So
think this one's Anthony Greer. Uh,
oh yeah.
that is, well, it's
So
Gally
you saw,
Cribs.
yeah. I played with Gally. I played with both
Marcus
of them.
Wilson over there. That
Yep.
was one of my favorites because it's got the Batman grip tape. And then
Played with
David
Marcus.
Peralta. I got
Oh
his
yeah.
because Luis Silverio was using one of his bats. So yeah, I mean they had a huge part of my life. They're very good people, and now it's just all
Yeah. So
gone. It's sad.
you saw Duke play then when he was there.
Oh yeah,
That
I
was like
mean
his breakout year, and he
I
started
went to
there and then
every
kind of went
game. It
all
was
the way.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was pissed because I joked with him when I talked to him. I had something. I had like the Midwest League All Star poster that year that I made. I had it signed by every single one of them except Duplantier. And I said, you know what? I'll get it when he comes back. And I go, I don't think he's coming back after the All Star game. There's no way. He's gone. And that was it.
Yeah.
So I have this FD poster, this beautiful poster signed by everyone except him. I'm like, I'm not
Oh,
sending
that's
that in the
funny.
mail because I don't trust the mail. But I was like,
Yeah.
I,
Right.
I knew there was no way he's coming back. And yeah, so, well, hey,
Yeah.
man, I
That
really appreciate you
sucks.
doing this. I had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. Thank you.
You bet.